We're not all Bundy 24 hours. And I've gotten a lot of heat for it. And Fox has been all over this. And I've wondered why. How does this serve the big government Republican? How does this serve them? By discrediting the Tea Party movement, by making them look bad. Now, I certainly don't think that Sean Hannity had anything to do with that, because I know Sean. And Sean is trying to do the right thing, but I will tell you that there are those in media organizations that do not have that decency to try just to get to the heart of the story, and Sean is. I talked to Sean this week about this story, and Sean is really trying to get that story right. But I will tell you this. When you look at, we don't do polling at Fox, or I mean at the Blaze. We look at social media, and we try to see what's really happening. What are people really saying about a certain situation? I just got this morning. Now, this is after the story broke today about what Cliven Bundy said, and I think everybody's going to make this. They're going to say the offensive, and I want you to know the whole thing is offensive. But what they're going to concentrate on, and this will be the right will do this. The right will do this. The ones who are trying to ease their conscience, don't be one of those people. Or those who are trying to make excuses because this is who they really are. They'll immediately go to, well, Harry Reid used the word Negro. Yeah, and don't we know who Harry Reid is? Okay, so yes, we know who Harry Reid is. So let's not, that doesn't defend, that should say, and Harry Reid does that, and I know who he is. Okay, there's step one. They're also going to say, well, but he was really talking about the welfare state. No, you can talk about the welfare state and say that the welfare state enslaves people, but it is not actual slavery. And then what Bundy said after that was they abort their young children, they put their young men in jail because they never learned how to pick cotton. Well, he just meant that as a metaphor. Did he? I don't know that. Did he? Because listen to the next sentence. I've often wondered, are they better off as slaves? He's often wondered if black people would be better off as slaves. End your relationship. End your relationship. If that doesn't end your relationship with him, you've got to go back and question, where did you go wrong? You wondered if blacks were better off as slaves, picking cotton and having a family life. They didn't have a family life. That's the real key to what he said. And there's no way around that sentence. There's no, unless the New York Times made this up out of whole cloth. But it's my understanding that the one organization, the media organization that we warn you about, has reported on this. Did they report on this? Is that what I heard in the meeting today?
I have not heard that.
Not that I've heard.
Okay. All right. Well, that's point in their favor. I got to believe they were there.
Well, I mean, the previous sentence or paragraph to it says how it describes how Bundy has been doing daily news conferences. On Saturday, it drew one reporter and one photographer. So Mr. Bundy used the time to officiate at what was, in effect, a town meeting with supporters, discussing in long, loping discourse the prevalence of abortion, the abuses of welfare, and his views on race. So if he's doing this with a bunch of supporters around him, and we know, obviously, there's a mix of people who have been there. Some have been good and some have been not so good. However, this could have been reported for an entire week. I mean, this has been sitting out there. This happened on Saturday. So the supporters were there, did not find this notable, or the New York Times made it up Jason Blair style. I don't know which one it is, but either one's horrible.
So here's what we get from social media. I got this morning from John Cardillo. He is from Cyber ID, PsyID. And he wrote, Let Glenn know that since tax day, sentiment has turned against Bundy. Only the most radical anti-government types are vocally supporting him. Most now see him as a scofflaw since all of the information has now come out. Now, this is before this came out. They also feel he used the media to avoid paying fees that the other ranchers have to. People are still against the BLM's handling, and that's where I am. I'm still against the way the BLM handled this.
Yep.
I mean, we can't even give guns to our military on the border.
Or on their own bases.
Yeah, on their own bases. But we can arm them out on BLM land? That's insane. People are still against the BLM's handling, but Bundy has gone from victim to villain. Armed militia groups who support him on social media are over-the-top racist, lending to sentiment turning against Bundy. I beg of you, A, don't let this harden your heart by saying, if you were for him, it's so easy just to turn now and say, I don't care what you say about me. I'm at least consistent. New information. I don't want anything to do with him. I still say the government is out of control. I still say they used over-the-top force. I still say return the land to the West. I still am for that. But I'm not with him. And if we don't clean out our own ranks, I wrote 2 weeks ago to the boys, this is the beginning of the separation, and it's an important separation. There was the Martin Luther King movement, and there was the Malcolm X and Weather Underground movement. One side was violent. Vengeance was theirs. The other side was peaceful and loving. I know you. I know your heart. I know your intent. I know your love for this country. I was with you in Washington, D.C. I know you felt it. If that is what you are looking for, then that comes through peace and love and kindness. That's what I am looking for. And if I stand alone in the end, I stand alone in the end. I'm totally fine with that. If I'm the only American left, but I know I'm not. I know what you want. And if you want vengeance, then you are not, I am not with you. I am not with you. If you want peace and love and true tolerance, if you want small government that doesn't steal things from people and leaves people alone, let them make their own decisions, whether that is in their bedroom or their house of worship or their office. Trust people to do the right thing, because they will if they're given the opportunity. If they're given the chance, they will do the right thing.